The integration program at Nexus Station Academy had been considered a diplomatic triumph. 17 species, hundreds of students, all learning together in the first truly multi-species educational institution. The Galactic Council called it the future of interspecies cooperation. They hadn't accounted for cruelty being a universal language. Zixara pressed herself against the corridor wall, her crystalline skin refracting the harsh fluorescent lights into scattered rainbows. Her internal water reserves were critically low. The indicator patches on her neck had turned from blue to a dangerous amber. 3 cycles without proper hydration, 3 cycles of watching her ration tokens mysteriously disappear from her locker. "Look, the glass skin is leaking again." Throck's voice rumbled through the hallway. The Krellian stood nearly 8 feet tall, his armored hide making him effectively invincible to most disciplinary measures the station could impose. Behind him, his entourage of sycophants, a mix of Venturi and Skellig students, laughed in their respective frequencies. Zixara's homeworld was water-rich, but her species had evolved a peculiar dependency. They needed to absorb liquid every 48 hours, or their bodies would begin crystallizing from the inside out. It was painful. It was deadly, and everyone at the academy knew it. "Please," she whispered in Galactic Common, her voice barely audible. "I just need to access the hydration station." Throck stepped in front of the water dispenser, crossing his massive arms. "Hydration costs tokens, glass skin." "You have tokens?" She had tried reporting the thefts. The station's administrators were sympathetic but overworked, and the investigation would take time her body didn't have. The Krellian Diplomatic Corps had made it clear that any discrimination against their youth would be considered an interstellar incident. Zixara sank to her knees, her pride dissolving like salt in water. "Please, I'm begging you." The crowd that had gathered murmured in discomfort, but no one intervened. This was the unspoken rule of academy life. Don't get involved in disputes between other species. Too complicated. Too many diplomatic ramifications. "I like the begging," Throck said, leaning down. "But I think, move." The word cut through the corridor like a blade. Human speech. Direct, unadorned, carrying that peculiar quality that made it sound simultaneously primitive and commanding. Marcus Chen stood at barely 6 feet, dwarfed by Throck's massive frame. Humans were new to the galactic community, their species discovered only 15 standard years ago. They were considered soft, their homeworld a moderate paradise that should have made them weak. They had no natural armor, no venomous fangs, no psionic abilities. They were also notoriously stubborn. "This doesn't concern your kind, human," Throck growled, but there was uncertainty in his voice. Humans had a reputation. It wasn't always clear where it came from, but it existed. Marcus didn't respond. He walked past Throck, simply shouldered past him as if the massive alien was nothing more than an inconvenient door, and knelt beside Zixara. From his pack, he pulled out his personal water container, standard issue marked with Earth symbols. "Here," he said softly, offering it to her. Zixara's eyes widened, their inner light flickering with confusion and hope. "But your rations, I can handle being thirsty for a day." "You can't." He pressed the container into her trembling hands. "Drink," she did, her body absorbing the liquid with visible relief. The amber patches on her neck slowly shifted back toward blue. Throck's hand clamped down on Marcus's shoulder, spinning him around. "You just made a mistake, soft skin." Marcus looked up at the Krellian, his expression unreadable. "Did I? You have no idea what you've interfered with. My father is a council diplomat. One word from me and your entire species application for full galactic citizenship will be based on our actions, not our fears." Marcus's voice remained level. "Yeah, I know how it works." Something in the human's eyes made Throck hesitate. It wasn't fear or aggression. It was something older, something that predated language. Every species in the galaxy had evolved under pressure, but humans carried the memory of being prey that became predator. They remembered climbing from caves to stars while their planet tried to kill them at every turn. They remembered persistence. "You're protecting her now?" Throck asked, trying to regain his dominance. "I'm not protecting anyone," Marcus replied, standing slowly. "I'm just making sure everyone knows if her rations go missing again, if she's accidentally denied access to hydration, if anything happens to her, I'll know who to talk to about it." "That sounds like a threat." It's a promise. Marcus smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Humans are really good at keeping promises. You can ask the other species who thought we'd be easy to push around when we first joined the community. Ask the Rendax pirate clans. Ask the Tulvan enforcers. Ask anyone who mistook kindness for weakness. The corridor had gone silent. Students from a dozen species watched, their translation devices struggling with the subtext of the exchange. Throck's pride warred with his survival instinct. He had heard the stories. Humans were individually weak but collectively terrifying. They held grudges across generations. They never forgot, and when they decided something was worth fighting for, they became as immovable as black holes. "This isn't over," Throck finally said, backing away. "Yes," Marcus replied quietly. "It is." The Krellian and his group retreated, their posturing deflated. The crowd dispersed, whispers following them in multiple languages. Zixara stood on shaking legs, Marcus's water container still clutched in her hands. "Why?" she asked. "Your species is so new here. You have everything to lose." Marcus shrugged, retrieving his container and refilling it at the now accessible hydration station. "Maybe that's why we have nothing to lose. We're not here to play galactic politics or worry about who has more influence." He filled a second container and handed it to her. "Take this too. Get your reserves back up." "I don't understand humans," she admitted. "That's okay." He smiled. Genuinely this time. Most of the galaxy doesn't. "But here's what you need to know. Where I come from, we have a saying. I am my brother's keeper. Doesn't matter what planet you're from or what you look like. You needed help. I had water. Everything else is just noise." As Marcus walked away, Zixara stood in the corridor watching the human disappear around the corner. She clutched the water containers to her chest, feeling their weight. The Galactic Council had been right about one thing. The integration program was showing everyone the future of interspecies cooperation. They just hadn't realized that humanity would define what cooperation truly meant.